As I say, I know it's been a while, but does anybody remember the last session well enough to recap it a little bit?
I remember we played a game with a man with didn't have many arms, but he had many bodies, who offered to take us to open a portal to get to the next place that we needed to go to as part of his gauntlet.
That's correct.
And then a couple of robots, policemen, turned up and told us we can't do that. And then we kept on turning him off, and then he got a bit uppity. While doing that, I managed to convince the man with many bodies to help us by getting him very, very high.
Oh, yes.
And then I also got very, very high, and we used our newfound powers to subdue the guards and open a portal.
That is all correct.
Hooray!
I turned the police back on because I'm so nice.
We didn't kill them, did we? We just
no.
put them in the dumpster.
Yeah.
Oh yes, you found a you had
Where
a
they
thing
belong.
which would turn them back on, didn't you? I remember.
Yeah, I said she had a little stone that sort of disappears and then reappears a minute later.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I put that above the button.
Very nice. All
And
right.
we are
I also-
entirely guilt-free now.
I also called the what was it? Who's that
Total
guy?
Prats,
Total
was
Prats.
it?
Yes, I
Yes.
called the guy with all the bodies. That.
You're going to come back to this place one day and find out he has been elevated to King Pratt of the whole domain.
He's done a lot to deserve it.
Rad. All right, well, now that all of that has occurred and you were indeed sent into yet another mysterious portal by Omov, who was the many-bodied entity, you enter that portal as one. However, as opposed to previous trips through the other portals, which just involved a brief stay in a kind of blank grey space before you get unceremoniously dumped to your destination, this portal seems to work rather differently, and you can imagine something along the lines of the intro to Doctor Who, or various similar scenes where you're, or Bill and Ted or something, except looking a bit more like that clockworky picture that I've posted. The gist is you are flying through wibbly-wobbly dimensional interplanar space.
Golly.
To most of you, it is basically, more or less sensorily incomprehensible. To Minim, on the
No
other hand,
place like home.
exactly. You are able to perceive it, well, much as in that picture. All of the aspects of the various interlocking dimensions that make up this reality are arrayed before you in their gloriously complex clockwork or orrery-like form, whirling and spinning around you. However, it basically, something has gone wrong, and you are not being sent on a direct route to the next kind of relay in the loop of portals that you were originally on as part of this game. It almost seems as if you are being sent from that route to a different destination by the one who is operating this portal, namely Omuv. And as you fly between layers of existence, all of you get flashes of a myriad of different scenes from all across the world and possibly different places as well. Things that you have never seen before, things that you can't comprehend, or sometimes that you can make some sense of, but they flit and flash past your vision and awareness as you career through this unfamiliar warp space. One thing that you do notice is that the scenes that you see flashing before you are greatly sped up. You see great armies flitting and flashing across plains. You see cities rising and falling. You see clouds swarming across the landscape.
I have a question.
Yes.
Am I still high?
That would be a question I'm sure that Fayan is asking himself.
Okay.
In fact,
I think technically he is though.
He probably is hard. He
yeah.
did, okay, he's probably going to think he's doing all this. He's going through raising cities, destroying things. He is a god in his mind right now.
And then we come back to our view. and
Like
it's just
you know that scene in Princess Bride where they both take the poison, both of the cups are poisoned. Remember, Theon basically did that, but with happy drugs, and crit failed.
Yeah.
I am a biotic god.
All right, so that is happening. I'm going to say in this case, both Feyen and also Minim, please make me a intellect roll difficulty 4 to discern something about the situation.
Okay, what skill would this
Feyen,
involve?
Well, I'm going to say no skill that you'll have written down. I'm going to say
Okay.
Minim is specialized, and Feyen, you have an asset because of your chair leg of truth.
Okay,
Nice.
right.
I think
Um,
I think it may. I don't know. Oh, okay. Because I've got the. You gave me the knowledge of planar energies
Oh,
previously.
that would
so
that would absolutely apply.
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
is that a training or a specialization? I'll take
That
whatever
is,
as a
that's like a
permanent
training,
ruling.
but
Cool.
yeah, you're going to be specialized in this.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
fine.
Very short.
difficulty 4, and I get an asset.
Mhm.
Okay.
Freaking effort, because I can.
Ooh, that's nice. 17.
All right, nice. So basically, what I described before as you being pushed forcefully off course, as opposed to the course that you're supposed to be taking, you perceive that that is indeed the case, and in fact, you discern Feyen with your sudden self-granted knowledge of these things. You discern that it's that bastard Omov. He's trying to send you to some other place than the one that he said he would, and you get the impression that the place he's sending to you is very bad, and you should not arrive there.
Oh, am I within hearing distance of everybody else? How exactly are we moving through
When
this
you
place?
try and turn to perceive the others, or indeed yourself, you're not able to perceive them in the normal way. You don't see, you don't see the others just like floating through space next to you, but you do perceive their presence on these kind of airwaves, as it were, flitting and floating around you. So you are able to communicate with each other in a weird, inscrutible, planar way.
Right. I've got a very weird thing I want to try and do.
Yeah. Okay.
It may fail horribly, but again, I have a massive overestimation of my abilities right now.
Yeah.
Using my godlike abilities, I want to move in front of everybody as we're flying through this.
Mm-hmm.
And an ability I just took, actually, with this tier, lets me turn my chair leg of truth into a trans-dimensional weapon
Ooh.
that vibrates on a dimensional frequency, so expands into other dimensions. It does an extra point of damage, but it also allows me to be affected by special transdimensional effects, which things out of phase. I'm going to try and cut through a hole in the dimensions to enter somewhere else before we get to where we're trying to get to.
Well, how more appropriate could that possibly be?
Don't know.
Cool. So, okay, to most of you, this is very difficult to even comprehend what is going on at all, but you are able to pick up some sense of the situation that you're in, and to sense the presence of the others in your party beside you.
So Minim is used to kind of maneuvering in this sort of environment. It's his natural environment kind of thing, and he can. And I'm going to say that what he's going to attempt to do is to just kind of corral everyone squid-like with his hair, to which is he's basically an interdimensional squid, but he and I've just got a new move called, which I've replaced Fast Step with actually, so
Oh, yeah.
which is Wormhole. I can't quite use it full edge yet, so it's going to be strain, but I think this is actually a perfect opportunity for him to develop that skill more in a way that's maybe harmful to him as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, he can
Cool.
potentially grab everyone and move them through portals to where he wants to go. So I guess just lead on, Bean.
Awesome. Okay, so I think what I'm going to say happens is this. Minim, and I guess Fayan, you're able to perceive this most clearly, but to start off with, Fayan does indeed dart his way to the head of the pack, as it were, brandish his chair leg of truth, which crackles and shimmers and reflects the weird clockworky phasal stuff that is flying around you, and brandishing it with a particularly legendary pose. He smashes it into the kind of substrate that you're flying past, and it kind of results, in, as it were, a great shower of kind of sparks, which are kind of like mirror shards that are flying out of the contact that he's making and the kind of rip that he is tearing, and flying out throughout space and kind of multiplying and fractalizing and all that kind of thing. Let's say that this basically kind of like throwing a stone into a pool and creating ripples. This serves to allow you to somewhat orient yourself within these planes and kind of perceive the direction that you're going and that you should be going. However, what it also does is arouse a great echoing, billowing moan throughout the space that you're passing through. As you see you see what passes for the equivalent of a shape in this space looming towards you. It's kind of like being in a hall of mirrors. You'll see a reflection of it in one direction and then it'll flash up in another direction, but it's clearly overall coming towards you, and it looks in form somewhat like this, although as a phasic being, it is, imagine this, but made of weird, ever-changing kind of mirrors and flashing out all kinds of bits of reality and stuff after it, as it is swimming, as it were, towards you guys, alerted by this disturbance in the transdimensional warp. Minim, your ability to open a wormhole, I'm going to say it's kind of, maybe slightly ironically, it's tuned to working within one specific dimension or plane. In other words, what the others would think of as real reality, and it's a way of bridging gaps within that by accessing this kind of planar area that you're in. Nonetheless, obviously, nonetheless, it still can be used in the way that you want, which is to go from this place back into a reality. But it is going to take you a while to essentially charge up that ability. And in the meantime, you have to somehow deal with this bad fella that's coming your way.
With my newfound abilities, actually, I would like to try and challenge it. Say, halt, being. We have. You will not interfere with our important mission.
All right. To the rest of you, apart from Minim, Fayan's voice is basically echoing and booming around you like a volcano was erupting. You're able to dimly perceive the great looming and more or less threatening mass that is coming your way, although it's very difficult to really comprehend or understand what's going on. Unless, actually, let's say that as Fayan brandished his chair leg of truth and then basically stabbed reality with it, all of you, even those who are not tuned to this planar stuff, were able to orient yourselves to that and to suddenly recognize yourselves and the rest of you are, in this space, although still not in a strictly realistic manner. So you are all basically able to some extent, observe and navigate within the space for now. So let's wing it. This thing is coming towards you.
I'm guessing I can tell that it's hostile. Sense of the weird lets me for things that are
Yes,
relevant. Is
indeed,
Good.
you can sense a very predatory vibe coming off of it.
Is it
Um,
talking this thing down or negotiating?
Did it ignore my
Actually,
highly
um,
important warning?
no. In fact, despite the fact that you sense that this thing is in its nature, kind of beast-like, essentially, nonetheless, because of the nature of its being, both as you just kind of look at it and kind of observe it moving, and especially as you send out this great kind of signal, it kind of reflects and refracts this signal, this communication that you're sending out, and adds its own echo and spin to it as it portrays itself as a great king of this realm. Although king is maybe a bit of a mistranslation, more of a just powerful controlling entity is how it's portraying itself as, although you get the impression that even this is just essentially a threat display. It seems to have no intention of backing down. In fact, it's intensely interested in your presence here, and it is warping its way ever closer.
Do I have time to try something else? I mean, I don't want to be the guy doing all things if anybody else wants to do anything.
Yeah,
well,
so I'm going to say basically, it's not here yet. So Feyen and Minim will find it especially easy to take actions first, but the rest of you have gained enough kind of coherence through Feyen's actions that you can basically kind of act as yourselves, and you will do planar stuff that is appropriate.
is this something that I recognize?
Let's say yes, you recognize this as a dangerous predator.
Okay, but so would I know know the nature of how this thing can do damage? Like, are we dealing with something that's going to be dealing physical damage to us, or can I, take steps to, protect myself from energy sort of attacks? I mean, in like a mechanical sense.
Yeah, in this realm, the distinction is not necessarily clear. It doesn't work in quite the same way as a real being, in the sense that it inflicts damage through being a great beast that can chomp you with its jaws and stuff. But it can do the planar equivalent, which is basically to kind of rush through you and disrupt the space that you're in and scatter you in that way.
I'm mostly wondering if it would make sense for Minim to use his energy protection Isteri, which gives you a bunch of armor.
I'm going to say, even though this reality is kind of incompatible with that kind of thing in a sense, I'm going to say, you can use your existing move sets, and I will think of something appropriate to happen that will generally be helpful.
Cool.
Yes, if you have like a energy protection type thing, that will serve as a type of shield.
Okay, well in that case, Minim's going to do a similar sort of display of power. He's just kind of, this is his language, this is what he kind of
absolutely.
What he was raised in.
Natural element.
And he's going to sort of just rise and roar and kind of convey that he is, an apex predator, a unchallenged being.
Cool. Okay, and
energy protection on with armor against whatever dimensional weirdness energy this is.
All right, so that happens, and it will react in a moment. But first, perhaps take a moment to kind of strategize and decide, other than fending off this thing, what is it that you are aiming to do in terms of your, you're being flung through dimensional space. What do you want to do in reaction to that?
What did my dimension stabbing thing actually do? Did it just slow us down and allow us to just move ourselves about, decide where we want to go?
Imagine it like throwing a sea anchor from a yacht. As well as throwing up this great coruscating ripple that kind of reflects all of you and allows you to orient and kind of realize yourselves to an extent. It also kind of seems to steer and stay your course somewhat, although not being in reality remotely attuned to this whole reality, it's somewhat random the direction that you're taking it in at the moment. However, it does. This in itself is, yeah. This is you're essentially allowing yourself to move and navigate and anchor yourself in a way that Minim can do naturally, and that you are doing in a rather crude and unpracticed manner. Nonetheless,
Can we say they
it is
have an
useful.
asset if Minim's sort of tethering to them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
but yeah,
we're
so
no longer plummeting towards our potential
have-
doom. We're now
you've changed your course
hanging
from the
around.
one
Okay.
that Omov sent you on, although there is still a great force trying to put you back on that track. Let's say Minim or Feiyan. Actually, sorry, I don't want to concentrate on you too much. Let's say Hyoyeon. Although you are hardly used to this situation, let's say that some of your equipment, whether the stuff that you're carrying or the stuff that you have installed, is in some way capable of kind of dealing with the situation, trying to kind of find themselves in terms of coordinates, or maybe have other effects within this plane. Do you have any particular things that you would want to be doing here?
Let's have a look through what I actually have.
I'd be generally interested.
Just imagine
just generally in how the other characters would react to this sort of environment,
Yeah.
yeah.
just on like a roleplay level.
I mean, you've gone through the portals before, and it was not entirely unlike this in the sense that you were kind of thrown into a different reality and then, dumped into a different place in a previous reality. But you're now all, as it were, seeing behind the curtain in a way that normally it would take a absolutely phenomenal amount of drugs to achieve.
Dogface speaking from experience.
Hyoyeon would be like, she would be very displeased. She wouldn't be like panicked. She would just be like, she doesn't like it at all.
Yeah.
Because it's like not really in control and like a weird situation and can't really do much, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep,
Yeah.
sounds
Okay,
good, that
so
works.
yeah, let's say Hyoyeon, as opposed to normally being able to have always having the feeling that she has a gadget up her sleeve that will deal with that. In this situation, she's finding herself having to, react purely by instinct. You do find somewhat happily that your presence in this place and the place around you does react to your will in at least some extent. So you're able to kind of control yourself and perceive and things like that. I guess I'm just trying to kind of get out of you at this stage. Where are you trying to go, rather than the place that Omov is sending you?
Do we actually know where we want to go? I don't know if we do.
I was following
I
you.
mean,
Well, we
All
don't
right,
want
let's
to go
say,
to Umaviz, so anywhere's better. It's
We
Anyone
wanna get
who
into whatever the next stage of this trial is, and it
Yeah.
seems like this part isn't recorded.
Yeah, I'm going to say,
no one
broadly
watching us at this
speaking,
point?
anyone who feels that they would be capable, give me a intellect roll of, let's say, difficulty 3, since you've already kind of slightly done one of these, to specifically try and find out if you can find the route that you would, that you should be on, basically, for the kind of course.
I'll pass.
Or
Minim's busy.
otherwise, if you can just find a destination to get to that isn't this wibbly wobbly timey space. So I guess Feyen, go ahead and with your newfound transdimensional godlike powers, give me a roll on that.
I am not trained in this at all, am I?
No, but your Chalik of Truth is most certainly a beacon
Oh.
and an asset.
Well, what could possibly go wrong? Oh, nothing apparently.
Nice. Okay, so what you are able to perceive is, let's say that this, in the lower part of the picture, the big blue center is where you're coming from. And these kind of nodes that are going out from it are, think of them as transdimensional beacons that you are supposed to pass by in order to get to your... no, let's see. Okay, so the big blue one in the bottom left is your origin. The the big kind of orbited one in the top right
Yeah.
seems to be basically the city that you came from. It's the source of the course, as it were.
Okay,
It's
sorry,
it's the main anchor that is has set up this kind of course that you are moving along. So in other words, it represents going back to the city. So
that was that which city you talk about? The city we were just at, or the original?
no, sorry, I mean
point?
the original. I can't remember the name of it, but the place where you crashed.
Okay, yeah, that one.
And the
Right.
nodes in between represent the nodes on the course.
I believe it
So
was
the last
canonically
node popped
Bastard
out.
City.
Sorry, say again?
I believe it was canonically Bastard City.
Oh, yes. Bastard City, indeed. Now, what I'm going to say is that if I get my... So you... Oh, no. Ugh.
Are you drawing the yellows?
There we go. Okay. So, this big yellow cross type thing is the city with Tipio, etc. that you came from.
Oh,
This
okay.
one is
Aha.
Bastard City. Let's say...
So we've actually gone all the way to the center, more or less, of this.
No, it works slightly differently. But let's say that these 4 circles that I've just drawn are the other nodes that you were supposed to go to. And finally, this cross here, side, this is basically your present location, and you are being sent off course in some other direction, which you sense would be a bad one.
Oh, move that
Right.
prat.
I'm starting to think I shouldn't have insulted him.
Well, you
And,
don't want to open the portal.
Let's say that in as far as it can be said to have a precise location at all, the big beastie that is coming your way is kind of over here.
Right.
Ooh.
How many destinations did we go to before we got to our last city?
The one that you just left was your second destination.
Right, and these aren't necessarily the same order, so I don't know
It's
which
hard
way.
to tell exactly. So it seems like there were 2 other intended destinations. However, these are currently being blocked by this fish thing. You're also being just dragged in general by the forces that you are subjected to in this place. You're kind of going in this direction off to the
Okay.
left.
So it seems that we're going to need to get past this giant anglerfish thing into one of those other dimensions. Does anybody have any idea which one? Or a preference? Maybe you like one that looks like a bit like an eyeball.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, let's go
Eyeball
for the eyeball
sounds
one.
fine.
It's on the biggest ring, so I'm sure that's significant in some way.
Yeah.
All right, so your goal is to navigate your way to the top right-hand node. This one here.
Oh no, not the city one.
Oh,
I was
sorry.
thinking this one, because
This
this one in the upper right we came from originally, didn't we? That was Bastard City,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Bastard City.
and this one here is the one that we haven't had any work with yet. So
Potentially.
it looks
It might be
important.
the one with the upside down pyramids.
Oh, it could
floating.
be one we just. It could be the
One of
first one
those
again.
could well be, but we don't know.
We have no way of telling.
All right, give me one more intellect roll, let's say difficulty 3, to see if you can work out which of these portals leads to which place.
I reckon
Anyone in
Hyoyan could
particular?
be making rolls as well, because her computers could be trying to work stuff out to like
Yes.
scan. You seem like a scanny sort of dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Difficulty.
I've got 2
Yeah,
points
absolutely.
of intellect left. I am not using any effort at this point.
Difficulty 3.
By the way, is Chris
yes.
here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, hello.
He's being very quiet.
I was letting the experts do their thing.
Are you playing Mass Effect?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I've got my full attention.
Right, roll.
Cool. All right. So what you find is that, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna slightly change things. So this one here, the one that is crossing that you just said you're heading to, That is the first place that you went to. That is the Upside Down Pyramid place.
Okay.
This one to the lower left of it, that is Tipio's city.
Okay.
These two are unvisited ones. And then the big blue one in the middle is, let's say, it's the origin point of all this.
But we've not been to the origin point, have we? We still came from.
When I say
When
the
you say the
origin
origin
point, I mean essentially the origin point in the graph of all dimensions.
Okay, right. So we don't necessarily want to head there, unless we want to. Could we get in trouble if we skip? If we
I think it's
skip
going to
past-
essentially be the end of 2001 in there.
Who wants to be a giant space baby?
Yeah.
Okay, if we do head there and we somehow get out alive, would that be considered cheating?
I wouldn't consider it cheating, but I would say that what is there is completely undefined, both in my head and probably in the universe.
And in terms of the game that we're supposed to be playing, even if, I think it's just, you take it on. We don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should be going to the third
The
one.
third one
Yeah,
makes
that one.
sense.
The
It
next
follows
one
a
line.
some sort of weird pattern.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll end up at the origin eventually. Everything
Cool.
leads there.
Okay, so in that case, your goal is to get to the third point here and to somehow get past or deal with this beastie that is in the way.
Right.
Exactly.
How fast can we move in this if we want to? As in, if we made a conscious effort to move to that, how long would it take to get to that third point?
I'm gonna say, because of where you are, I'm not going to really say that it doesn't have a traditional distance type relationship type thing. I'm partly because I can't be bothered to put all the icons in. I'm just gonna have you kind of describe and point on the map kind of roughly where you're trying to move. Bear in
Right,
mind,
okay.
this is all strictly speaking kind of non-linear basically.
Oh
For
yeah, so
pragma-
probably-
Non-Euclidean space is
For
awesome.
practical purposes, probably just worth assuming that you can't sidle on past the giant space monster.
Exactly. Think of it as looking top down, and this monster is going to try and intercept you as you move.
Okay, it's already going to try and attack us anyway. I do have a
Seems that
thing.
way.
I do have a thing I want to try. It might not work. It might sort of work, or it might work very well.
Right.
I don't know if anybody else. Basically, I want to use my another new ability I've got called Mind Games, where I can use lies and trickery against a foe that can understand me. And if I succeed, it's stunned for one round and cannot act, and then it's dazed on the following round. So it finds it more difficult to do everything.
Sounds reasonable.
I wanted to kind of try and awe it with my godlike powers and say, I have mastery over this domain. You will not interfere, something like that.
Ooh, I like
Just
it.
to
Let's say
confuse
you
the hardware, but
you
I can
wave
let
your
everybody else do their
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
first because I don't want to.
Oh, okay. Sure.
I mean, can we
Nah, no,
try
it's-
and talk to it?
I did try earlier. And it was
Oh,
like,
okay, we did try that. Okay.
Seems to be a trans-dimensional being that maybe takes some special abilities to be able to
I
communicate
mean,
with.
that seems like Minim might be able to do that kind of thing.
He's gonna communicate
Minim
with it with
already
his teeth.
has, Minim already has given a mighty roar at it, which doesn't seem to have deterred it. So it is heading in your direction. So I guess let's do it this way. Let's roll initiative.
Bum bum bum.
All right, this thing lets out a huge roar and assaults you. So it is basically just trying to rush through the whole group of you and do the equivalent of a chomp that will rip apart the part of dimensional space where you are in right now.
Golly.
So everybody, please make me a... I guess you can do speed or... Actually, you can do speed, intellect, or might defense.
Crikey.
Definitely
Of
speed.
difficulty 5.
Five.
Boy,
My gosh.
I would like to spend a point of effort as I somehow.
Do we get an
dash
asset
away.
for being close to Minim?
Yeah, let's say Minim's presence gives you all an
Also
asset.
being tethered to
I would like to
move more easily.
spend effort.
All right, so this thing flashes and warps, but unmistakably rushes through your midst. Luckily, with the help of Minim and Feyan's efforts and just your natural instincts and abilities, all of you are able to swiftly dodge out of the way, which causes it some frustration. It is looping back around for another pass, but Crizin, you were able to get a major effect, and you can choose what that will be.
As is Nye.
Oh, nice. Okay, you both got major effects.
Nice.
Very nice.
Another nice pun. Let's see.
No,
I have a.
How is Knight?
And that's just an initiative.
I
Major,
rolled.
though.
Yeah, so like
I
I
rolled
had two
20.
20s. I had one on the
Yeah,
dodge and
exactly.
one on the initiative.
Oh god.
Oh, okay.
I
forgot
just
about
had a 20 on the initiative.
that. Okay.
See.
All right. In that case, I'm going to say, as this happens, both Nye and Varex get a free attack on this thing, and also, because Varex got a 20 on his defense, he will also get a second major effect, which I don't know, could be like latching himself onto this thing, or maybe doing some extra damage to
I
it.
demand
or
a
I
combo move.
ever.
I want to move. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do this in order. So first of all, Nye, you can make your best effort to make an attack on this thing to the extent that you even know if such a thing is possible. But you
Okay.
can just basically the way this works in this kind of place is, you can make the intention to slash this thing with your sword, and it will have kind of an equivalent dimensional effect, if that makes sense.
Well, my first instinct was to go with a cipher that I've got. Which
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
a pyrolytic pulsar, a little wristbanded weapon, projectile weapon, and go for the eyes, essentially.
Boo.
Cool.
Just like any good hamster knows.
Absolutely. Okay, so yeah, that presumably has a level associated with it. So go ahead.
Let's see,
and
level
roll that.
4 sends out a series of rapid-fire encapsulated heat pellets up to 200 feet. Pellets burst
Ooh.
into flame upon contact, causing disintegration damage equal to the cipher level.
Very nice. All right, go ahead and give me the roll for that.
Okay, so the difficulty is 4.
Yep, it's
right?
intellect to activate this thing.
Intellect. Oh, good, my specialty.
You can. I'm going to say you can pretty much do this on the fly. Is to reduce the level if you want to, but correspondingly reduce the effect.
Right. I have recently become trained in medium-ranged weapons.
Ooh.
Does that help?
Yep, that would definitely count.
Okay. And okay, I'm gonna roll it like that. I'm gonna put 1 effort in. Intellect. Yep.
Snap. All right. So what happens is you, as this weird, huge transdimensional monster flashes towards you, you level your. This is like a wrist-mounted thing, right?
Yeah.
You level your arm towards it, but not being versed in the ways of the warp, you take too direct of a shot, and it flashes out of the way just as you fire. The pellets that you fire fly out through the space ahead of you and become like supernovas exploding in the distance and causing a great wave of fire to flash across various of the dimensional paths to unknown effects to those dimensions.
What did you actually
Somewhere in the
fire?
real world, millions of people are dying.
I call it the apocalypse. It's a little
What
cipher
did
called a
you-
pyrolytic projector.
God. You
All right.
basically you blown things up and we're not even on that world.
You've got an amazing KD.
So that happens. However, it doesn't seem to have any immediate effect on the fish beastie. Varex, you also get a free attack due to your initiative. This is.
Okay, so I see it rush towards us, and me being the headstrong person that I am, I basically stand in front of everyone, and I want to just not even jump it, but just punch it straight in like its face as it rushes towards us.
All right,
That's
even
my
though-
secret. He's always angry.
Exactly. Think anime,
Alright.
right? Like when a giant monster rushes the dude. Exactly, yeah. So I'm like there. And that tentacle, yeah, so like basically punch him in the tentacle that is coming out like the front.
Sure.
And then the second thing will try to be to then grab onto it and swing myself on top of it.
all right. As you
But first
position
punch.
yourself in front of this thing, it is unclear to you whether it is the size of a whale or the size of a world. But in any case, you face yourself off against it, and as it rushes at you, you dart with its jaws open. You dart upwards at the last second, and gather all of your considerable strength and willpower for a strike into its, forehead / tentacle type area.
Yeah.
As it, dashes kind of through and past you, against all expectations, you actually manage to connect through the force of the will behind this strike. And it basically kind of gouges a rippling, glitchy gash right up the top of it.
Nice.
Sorry, Varix, I totally missed the whole idea of an eye combo move.
That's alright.
Paying attention.
That's fine. Wrist-mounted launches are also very cool.
Yeah.
That's true.
Even when you miss, cool things happen.
It screams in pain, and due to your defense also having a major effect, you can now do something else too.
So basically, so far I've only punched it. As I connect, I would like to then wrap my snake arms around that tentacle and swing myself up. If you allow it, I will also extend the other arm because I have a lot of wingspan, I would imagine.
Yep.
To Nai, but otherwise I'll just swing myself on top of it myself.
Cool. No, absolutely. You can most definitely both move yourself basically onto it and
Yeah.
also grab Nai
Basically here.
and take her with.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where'd I go?
Oh no, you've
Oh,
gone
we're
back
over
to
here.
the other place.
Fallen into
Over
the
there.
portal.
Wait, I can. Here we go.
Oh, there we go. Nice. Cool. Okay, so that happens. The rest of you have basically just like flitted out of the way. So just get that.
If I was Minim, I would, eat my way through the eye.
And now, because you rolled high, it is also your turn first, Nai.
Okay, well, I guess I'm going for the eye.
Yeah.
Nice.
Basically, just Hagar's like super pile driver move from wait a second, Zangief.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that with a sword to his eye.
Awesome. Rad. Okay, well, in that case, let's see. So that would be, well, either might or speed, and that is going to be. So it's a level 5 creature, but you're on it, and it's wounded, so it's going to be difficulty 4.
Okay, difficult 4.
And I'm going to say because it's like a spinning acrobatic type move, that will come under your specialization.
Right. Okay. So, trained in heavy bladed weapons. Difficulty 4. Gonna put in 1 effort. Yeah. Let's see how this goes. Might. Oh.
All right, so your blade goes delving right into the middle of this thing. It writhes and flinches hard, and you manage to blind it on that side. Let's say maybe you, your sword jabs into the bigger eye, and you kind of your other sword slam it over into the other side and manage to stick it right in the secondary eye as well. And let's say between that and Varix swinging on the tentacle on that side and kind of damaging it, it can now no longer perceive easily on its left side.
Nice.
Varix, you now have a turn.
Can I get easily to the other eye?
Sure, yeah.
So
Go
yeah.
through the damaged eye.
Yes, I mean, I know I'm totally cribbing from Minim, but he inspired me. So yeah, I'm not going around. I'm going through.
All right.
What's up with the body horror in this campaign?
This is what we do.
All
You're
right.
the hero.
Mining your way into the interior of this creature is going to be a might difficulty 4 because you've had a path
Yeah.
cleared for you.
Am I trained in digging through things? Maybe not.
Probably not specifically. I'd say you're not
Yeah.
really very set up for that.
Well, you don't have hands, right? If anything, it's
Well, no, I do have hands now, actually. That comes later. But no, I actually won't use my hands. It's like I just take the snake arm, the snake head arm,
Yeah.
and like sort of use it like a what's the English word? Oh, like a mortar and pestle.
Okay. Yeah.
So just like repeatedly punched my way through
Nice.
inside this thing.
Alright,
So
because of-
I'm
Yeah. Go ahead.
and because I'm I'm pretty scared and angry and concerned, so I'm like putting my heart and soul into this.
All right. You're
Just
you're doing
applying
like
some
the fist of the North Star, like multiple punches, just like
exactly.
and you're because of the way everything is amplified in this environment, huge squelchy squishes are emanating from this thing, and as it finds itself very clearly in trouble. It is twitching and flailing in place, very much in distress, as it gets burrowed into by this hostile snake beast.
Oh my!
And-
What is wrong with this roll?
Holy cow!
Are we sure this random number generator is working? Because it will be ones from now on.
Yeah. All right.
Statistically
So
speaking, you can get 4 20s in a row.
yeah. So Jesus,
That's
let me
good.
just think for a second. So we've had 1, 2.
Wow, there's a dice actually on the table. That's cool.
I've had 3 hits on it, 2 of which were major. Yeah, this thing is seriously injured, and
No
Jesus,
cheating.
I mean, yeah. So you do extra damage to it. You also do extra damage to it because you're hitting very much a vital area, and as a result of your major effect, you also dig your way to the equivalent of its brain.
Nice.
So you are ensconced there, although I'm going to say that is enough for your action for now.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to, to an extent, I'd say just as an extra effect to help the people who are coming after you, you are basically able to, punch it in the brain at opportune times and cause it to flinch in a way that makes it take extra, damage and ease of attack from the others. Okay, so Hyoyeon, you have just observed Nai and Barracks thoroughly own this creature and serious damage to it. How do you react?
I mean, I'm gonna keep on with the eye theme and take my slug spitter and aim for the eye.
Very
Or the
nice.
Eye pocket, I
Okay.
guess.
All right, so this thing is basically, because its left eye is being, severely attacked, it's kind of swimming its way around so that, it's trying to protect its left eye, but as a result, its right eye is now turned
Actually,
towards
no,
you
I have
guys.
another idea. I'm gonna use my
yeah?
stealthy serpent cipher, which is like a tightly coiled strand of metal.
Yep.
Which is like a mechanical snake that you can order to do stuff for like an hour or make one attack.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna throw that into the eye. And, let it join the other snake, and
Yes, and so what
things.
does it
I'm gonna have-
actually...
I'm
what
gonna
does
have
it
a look, because
Okay.
but yeah,
All right, what's the...
weird.
give me a level for this cipher.
level 3.
Okay, so so you basically want to command this thing to like burrow into the other eye, I'm presuming.
Yes.
Cool.
exactly.
And all right, so this is level 5. It's injured 4, and then Barracks is punching it in the brain, so it's a So you need to roll me first the a level 3, I guess, speed to basically chuck it at the eye,
Yeah.
and then a intellect 3 to activate the cipher successfully.
Okay. So start with the speed of 3.
See if we can punch it in the right places. Maybe we can control it.
Maybe it can be our pet.
Yeah.
Well, it's blind now.
I mean, that would be like
Yeah.
that would be like our fifth pet. How many pets do we have at the moment?
Well, we
Got,
keep
like-
abandoning them too.
We
Where
didn't
is
abandon
Bob?
them. We just didn't drag them into this weird dimension of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob
Would
should be
this count
grateful.
as a combat speed task? The chucking of the snake thing?
Yeah, I think
Yes,
so.
'cause then I can use int instead, because I showed the analytical combat skill.
Yep,
so I can use
absolutely.
int.
Absolutely.
But I'm gonna have to sort of manually do that. But yeah. I'll spend 3 int edge. Whatever, I have to do math. I'm gonna spend 3 effort to make it work. And that's the speed. Oh, nice.
Well,
Roll!
Nice.
Um,
So this thing, you successfully do this. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, so was that that was to chuck the thing? I'm
Yes.
going to say because of nature and stuff, I'm going to say you just are able to activate the thing as well.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of the minor effect. So basically, you chuck this wiry snake thing onto the eye of this thing as it like flails its way past you, and sure enough, it goes burrowing right into that other eye and causing even more of this
It
weird
can bite
glittering.
1 for 2 points of damage and inject a poison that inflicts 4 points of speed damage, ignoring armor.
God damn. Okay, I'm gonna say at this stage, this thing basically all it's doing is just twitching and floating in dimensional space. It's still technically alive, but it is disabled.
We killed transdimensional Willy.
Yeah. Well,
he's
that
free
was,
now.
That was surprisingly quick. Successfully dispatched this thing. You can do what you want with its still living body, or you can just leave and try and make your way to the portal that you're headed for.
I min him warily.
I do take a sample.
Oh
Well, if-
god.
When you say it's still living, is it just
It's
like
spreading.
a twitching corpse slowly dying, or is it just confused and not sure what to do?
It's definitely dying. Who knows whether this thing will be able to kind of regenerate if you leave it alone. But it's as it stands, it is just very much, disabled.
Can
I'm sure
I
it'll know
try
not
and
to mess with
like,
us again.
I'm assuming it heard us somehow, and hopefully it's not relying on eyes. I mean, I'm still on initiative order, so I don't know if
Initiative is basically done at this point.
Can I try and because I'm convinced that somehow I've orchestrated all of this and helped make it happen with my
Yep.
my new godlike abilities.
Minim is moving towards it.
Yeah. I'm just going to try and intimidate, scare it off, say, you may be the king here, but you cannot hope to compete with the gods, and be able to make it realize its place compared to us.
And I spit on its head.
All right, let's see. Okay, so it seems to dimly hear and receive. In fact, actually, give me a intellect roll, Fayan, to basically intimidate it.
Right. I was going to go with deception, but this isn't really deception. I'm just intimidating it now. What's a difficulty?
Let's say 3.
Okay. Oh wait. Do I get any assets to this?
I'd say that the 3 difficulty covers assets and stuff.
Yeah, that's fine. So it's I'm not spending any effort.
Maybe
So that's,
completely messed up, but it is still a giant dimensional.
okay.
It's still quite scary.
Yep. All right. Let's give it a go. Oh, well.
Let's see. You know what? I'm going to say maybe I'll retroactively downgrade the difficulty a bit because I think that roll is good enough in the circumstances.
How about a +1 from impressive fighting?
Yeah.
Oh yes, we have got a +1. There we go.
Yep, absolutely. There we go. Okay, so this thing doesn't really react in words, but it lets out a curdled, bloody kind of. It starts as a scream and then it deepens into a growl that starts to grow in intensity and sheer hatred that you can physically feel and even see emanating out from this thing as it reacts with utter fury to being defeated in this way. And in fact, its body starts to buckle and warp as the space around it starts to collapse around it.
I don't know what the equivalent of the just geez, I don't know the name of this. Do you know when someone's trying to intimidate somebody and they do that quick movement as if they're about to take a step or something towards them?
Oh yeah.
Basically
I don't know
faint.
what the psychics. That's it, faint. Thanks. I don't know what the psychic interdimensional equivalent of that would be, but I just like to do that with the chair leg.
Right.
Give it a bit of a scare while it's trying to be all
Yeah,
ground,
well, I
you know,
mean,
like, I hate
if
you,
you kind
urgh."
of slash the chair leg at it, it once again kind of doesn't exactly rip through, but kind of tears along the kind of dimensional substrate that you're in, and once more lets out a huge flood of kind of flickering, mirroring shards that scatter over this thing. That only seems to increase its intention as it seems to basically be trying to black hole itself.
Right. Oh crap! There's people inside it, isn't there? I forgot about that.
Let us switch to
Oops.
Nye and Varix.
Sorry,
Mhm.
guys.
What do you do in response
Okay.
to our unfolding?
Could throw a rope towards Varix.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right, you chuck a rope down into the bloody, ruined eye socket of this thing, and Varix, let's say you're able to grab it and escape from its insides and its brain.
Nice.
Basically, I'm imagining a dramatic escape as you fling yourself off the spinning carcass of this thing, and behind you it implodes on itself and explodes in a shower of dimensional blood.
It's like a gory version of the Millennium Falcon.
Exactly, yeah.
Now that I have hands, I do what I've been meaning to do for, however many sessions we run, and I high five Nye.
How do you have hands now?
Fist bump.
All right, well, okay, it's 4 o'clock, so what I'm going to say is, having defeated this thing and able to combobulate yourselves, you are able to, essentially swim your way over to the portal that you were aiming for and enter it. So that will be where we take our break. And at this point, maybe Varix, you can explain, why do you have hands?
Exactly. So in the last session, I was very lucky and I got a weapon symbiote, right? And I also advanced to level 4, which So I give you the out of character
Sure.
explanation first, and then the in character, and so that allows me to remove one harmful mutation, and one of the sort of harmful mutations was that I have snake arms, right? I mean, it's helpful but also harmful. So I decided, instead of, a normal person has hands and then uses the weapon symbiote to turn their body, to implant a weapon into their body. So I instead combine these two mechanics and have maybe Hoyon help me with this, and fashion the symbiote into basically gloves that go over my malformed hands to turn into hands that I can, then remove if, I need to punch people in the face really hard. So basically I have now fake weapon symbiote hands with the help of, So it's still weird. They're still not
Fair
properly hands. They don't really quite work as well as a normal hand would. But I can high five people, and that's all that matters.
It's the most important part.
Yeah. No, I mean that's really been the major problem. I couldn't high five people. It's been really weighing on me.
You could do a high snake arm thing. But
Yeah,
not
but
five.
that's a bit weird, even
We
for us. I think.
we did do that briefly once.
Yes.
Yes, and only once. Sorry.
Cool. So you are able to navigate your way to the portal, which is similar in appearance to the ones that you had previously gone through, and you pass through it. Once again, you are briefly suspended in a kind of just formless grey void, basically. And then you emerge into the next place, which will be revealed after we take a 10-minute break.
Hey.
Nice.
Stream.